Hey guys, Omaha here. Today I'm going to go over the patch notes that mark the difference between weekends 1 and 2 of the beta. Crazy intro or anything, I just want to get this out because the beta is about to start in like an hour and a half and they just released the patch notes. First, I got this paragraph here thanking the player base and everything. On behalf of the Treyarch team, thank you for an amazing weekend 1 of our multiplayer beta. We're grateful to everyone who played and shared their experience with us. Your feedback is critical to shaping Black Ops 6. Many of the changes below are based on data and feedback from weekend 1. But rest assured, we are also taking this into account as we look ahead to launch. We'll be sharing more info on what's to come in the weeks after weekend 2 concludes. So more info after the beta, which is nice, in the weeks after the beta. And then they're listening to our feedback, which is Treyarch, so it's to be expected. They kind of built their reputation on actually listening to the community. If you're joining us for the first time in the beta for weekend 2, welcome. We look forward to hearing about your experiences, especially with the new content coming. In addition to more maps and modes coming throughout the weekend, which throughout the weekend makes me think they're adding more, but I wonder if they're just adding the stuff that they announced already later on. We're raising the level cap to 30 for all players off the bat, which offers greater access to new weapons, score streaks, perks, equipment, and beta rewards. Here's what to expect. Here is what weekend beta 2 consists of. September 6th to September 9th. So we got Babylon, which is basically like a bigger shipment. The layout's almost the same. Scud, Skyline, Rewind, and Derelict. Those were already in the beta before. And then we have 3 strike maps. We already had Gala and Stakeout, or Gala and Pit, and now we have Stakeout. So that is what the beta consists of. As far as progression goes, the level cap's been increased to 30. So this is what we're getting. Level 21 is the Blast Trap, which, based on the description, is like the IED from Ghosts. It's like a C4 pack that auto-detonates when an enemy gets near. Scavenger perk, you know what that does. Level 22, you get Interceptors. Shoots down enemy score streaks, if it's like the one in Cold War. I think it is. Then Fast Hands lets you swap weapons faster. And I think it resets the fuses on grenades when you throw them back. Sleeper Agent, that's the one that lets you disguise yourself as a friendly to the enemy team. That's going to be pretty AIDS in Search and Destroy, I'm assuming. Luckily, we don't have to deal with that yet in the beta, but yeah, we'll see how that goes. It's going to be annoying either way, I think. There is a perk to counter it. And then Cold-Blooded, that basically does what Cold-Blooded's always done. Combat Axe, you know what that does. Tac Mask, that's the same. The DM10 Marksman Rifle, which if it's still as powerful it was in the leaked gameplay I saw like a month ago, it's going to be kind of crazy. But yeah, we'll see. Gunfighter Wildcard, which lets you have 8 attachments on your primary weapon. Forward Intel zooms out your mini-map and shows direction of enemies when they're pinged by UAV. Gearhead, which gives you 2 field upgrade charges, and I think they recharge faster as well. Decoy Grenades, which are the same as the ones we had in the past, but this time they actually stick to walls, which is kind of interesting. Ninja, it says it reduces not enemy, but it reduces your footstep noise, but it doesn't completely eliminate it, according to the description. Chopper Gunner, that'll be pretty strong. And then the Tonto 22, it's a slower firing SMG that hits really hard. And that's probably going to be the meta based on the Jackal getting nerfed pretty hard. I don't know, though. Weekend 1 and 2, so there's new rewards to unlock for the full game. So level 23, you get the Truth Lies loading screen. Level 27, you get the Beta Expert animated calling card. Level 30, you get the Bug Smasher XM4 blueprint. And there's all the rewards right there. Multiplayer. So here's some changes. Weapon swap speeds have been increased across the board. Players looking for an even quicker swap speed can try out the Fast Hand Strategist perk in weekend 2 of the beta. So Assault Rifle, SMG, Shotgun, LMG, Marksman Rifle, Pistol, and Launcher drop times reduced by 50 milliseconds. It's not crazy, but that'll be helpful. Sniper drop times reduced by 100 milliseconds. So snipers are seeing the biggest change here. Movement speeds. We're making small adjustments to baseline movement speeds on all weapon classes to make sure they are sitting in a good spot relative to one another. We've mostly focused on move speeds and ADS move speeds, which come into play during combat engagements. Overall, we're happy with the weapon class usage and performance we've seen in beta weekend 1, as well as the upper end movement pacing offered by SMGs. So these adjustments keep the SMGs the same, and generally improve other classes. We are mindful of speeding the game up too much and will continue to monitor and assess game data and your feedback. So I'm happy to hear that. I don't want the game to be too fast. I think the SMGs are actually in a perfect spot. The other notable change here is the melee sprint speeds. We want players to feel incentivized to pull out their dedicated melee weapons as a means of map traversal. We also want to ensure that melee users can catch up to other players who are sprinting with ranged weapons for those sneaky body shields and finishing moves. Okay, so here's all the changes to movement, which I don't know if I'm going to read them all. Oh, I'll read a couple of them. I might read the whole thing. Assault Rifles, ADS crouch movement speed increased from 1.75 to 1.88. Movement speed or move speed increased from 4.14 to 4.29, ADS move speed from 3.07 to 3.23, SMGs got their crouch speed buffed. Just gonna read it like that, it's easier. Shotguns got ADS crouch speed, movement speed, and ADS movement speed buffed. LMGs got ADS crouch speed, movement speed, and ADS move speed. Marksman rifles got crouch speed, ADS crouch speed, move speed, and ADS move speed. Sniper rifles got crouch speed increased. Pistols got crouch speed, ADS crouch speed, move speed, and ADS move speed. Oh, actually, crouch speed decreased, ADS crouch speed increased, move speed increased, and ADS move speed decreased. Interesting. Launchers had their crouch speed decreased. Melee, crouch speed increased, jog speed increased, sprint speed increased, super sprint speed increased, and move speed increased. That makes sense to me. I think SMGs were, like I said, were in the perfect spot, and everything else I'm fine with being adjusted. We'll see how it plays out. So here's the weapon adjustments. The Jackal finally got nerfed. I say finally like it's been a long time. It really hasn't, but it's just frustrating playing against basically every team I played against was a 6 stack of Jackals or 5 people using the Jackal. I think people just try different things in the beta, man. There's no stats. I mean, unless you're going for like a nuke or something, I mean, that makes sense, but like you don't need to be using the Jackal the whole time. Just have fun and try other things. Doesn't matter. Okay, anyways, my rant's over. Jackal PDW decreased maximum damage from 29 to 26. Decreased maximum damage range from 15.24 meters to 14.61 meters. Decreased near medium damage from 23 to 22. Decreased near medium damage range from 22.86 to 17.78. Decreased medium damage from 22 to 18. Decreased medium damage range from 29.21 to 26.04. Decreased minimum damage from 19 to 15. Small increase to view kick strength and view kick deviation. So it's going to feel like it's kicking more. And then the CHF barrel actually got a buff. So it increases the headshot multiplier from 1.2 to 1.4. And then let's see what they say about that. Jackal PDW's intended strength is best in class handling and decent mobility, balanced by a slower rate of fire compared to many of their automatic weapons in the game. It was overperforming at medium ranges, so we've increased the damage fall off and pulled the ranges closer along with a slight increase to recoil. Maximum damage in CHF barrel headshot multiplier been adjusted to maintain the same hit to kill numbers while using the attachment. So that makes sense. That's a good. So far, the changes are kind of nice. Which brings us to the C9. Increased medium damage range from 25.4 to 27.31. I don't think that was needed at all. I think the C9 felt great. It was already strong. It was stronger than the Jackal at like close to encroaching on medium range. Yeah, I don't think it needed that, but it's only 2 meters. We'll see how that plays out. We feel the C9's in a good spot as a well-rounded SMG with a solid rate of fire. It has higher horizontal recoil compared to other SMGs, so we've given a boost to its medium damage fall-off range. So they justify it by it having more horizontal recoil, which, didn't really have a lot. SWAT 556 disabled burst fire queuing, which was queuing an additional burst of fire input, which was queuing an additional burst if the fire input was activated at any time during the previous burst or the burst cooldown. I had a problem with this a lot using this, so I'm glad to hear they changed that. That actually sounds great. It gives you more control. This is a minor change to improve control with the SWAT 556 and any future burst weapons. So, yeah, I think that's a good change. The rapid fire attachment now correctly displays its recoil penalty con. The attachment description has also been updated to indicate the trade-off. Okay, good. Rapid fire was basically just free real estate. So it already had this effect. It just now states it, in case you're wondering. Maps. Adjusted general spawn logic to enable additional valid spawns under certain scenarios. Adjusted spawn logic across several maps with the goal of reducing a high frequency of spawn flipping. Okay, so here's a description of spawns. I already read this part, so I'm just going to read it again. I think it is kind of important, at least the first paragraph. This is kind of what they justify as a bad spawn. Our long-standing definition of a bad spawn is anytime a player deals or receives damage within 3 seconds of spawning, which I think that's still pretty quick. This is the cornerstone of building the spawn system and does not change regardless of map size or game mode. We use this metric, among others, to track bad spawn rates for Black Ops 6, meaning that if you dealt damage or received damage within 3 seconds in weekend 1 of the beta, we saw it. As an example, our core mosh pit entry with the highest bad spawn rate in weekend 1 was Domination on Skyline with a 4.2% rate, which means 4.2 out of every 100 spawns saw someone give or receive damage within a 3-second window. While we're generally happy with our averages, we know that an average also consists of worst cases, and will continue to assess throughout the lifetime of this game. We also recognize that We each have our own definition of what a good or bad spawn is, and that's not always just about combat situations. For example, did I spawn too far to the hard point? Why am I spawning on the same side of the map as the enemy team? That happened to me a lot. The overarching spawn system and placement of spawns in the map are critical to the flow of the match. It is our goal with Black Ops 6, as has been with every prior Black Ops game, to have a predictable spawn system that results in head-on engagements with your opponents while providing ample time for respawn for decision making. This includes accounting for time before getting an engagement before you're ready for it. Ooh, there's a lot to read. For weekend 2 of our open beta, we've adjusted general spawn logic and have targeted multiple maps with additional tuning changes with the goal of improving predictability and time to engagement. We know we have some work to do, and we'll continue to process our data, evaluate your feedback, and play the game with you all to draw our own conclusions on how to continue making positive progress. Oh, okay. It's too early to read that much. All right. Well, there's the spawn logic right there. I think 3 seconds is still a little too short, but I'm not a game dev, so what do I know? That's not sarcastic, by the way. I generally don't think I know the best. Score streaks. RCXD improved handling and general usability. That's good. I think it did need a slight buff. Watchdog Hilo increased base health. I mean, I felt like the Watchdog Hilo was fine. If anything, I feel like I needed maybe more damage, but that's fine. Hellstorm increased cluster bomb damage radius, which is good. I think the Hellstorm definitely needed a buff. It was pretty expensive. I still think I had an issue where I couldn't shoot the cluster missiles unless I could actually visually see an enemy. I kind of want them to change that if that's how it is. It could just be in my head, but I kind of want it to be where you can just fire them on your own without locking on, so I can just kill enemies inside doorways and stuff. But equipment, lethal equipment, thermo grenade, reduced explosive ignition delay. Movement, slight increase to the time to enter prone or supine during a slide. Slight increase to all mantle speeds. Slight decrease to time before movement is allowed after landing from dive to prone. Interesting. Slight increase to dive to prone landing friction. So those all look like buffs to the movement again, which is going to be interesting. Progression, weapon XP. Increased awarded weapon XP, which decreased the amount of time needed to gain weapon levels. That's huge because in the weekend 1, I don't think I got a single weapon maxed, and I played a lot of time. I probably played 20 hours or so, and I think I did use like every weapon, but you would think I'd get at least one maxed out. The weapon XP speeds observed in the weekend 1 were slower than expected. Daily challenges, blah, Fix an issue is causing the daily challenge counter timer to display the incorrect reset time. To get 50 eliminations with the recon perk specialty equipped, daily challenge will now track progress correctly. General beta rewards earned in a match will now appear in the after action report. Okay, now audio, increased player weapon firing audio volume. Additional footstep audio adjustments. Reduced audio levels for impact sounds when taking damage. That's a good one because that was kind of loud. Resolved an issue where shotguns could play more than the intended number of hit impact sounds. Resolved an issue where explosion sounds would not play during normal gameplay. Resolved an issue where some sounds were not playing during best play. Re-enabled a previously disabled audio occlusion system on PlayStation 5. Best play. Adjustments to underlying best play logic will result in a more varied and interesting best play selection. UI, bunch of fixes there. Settings, users should no longer encounter issues when switching their ADS transition timing to instant when using keyboard and mouse. That's a good one. Then there's stability fixes and increase the duration of the lobby vote before matches to give players a better chance to choose what they want. Reduce the amount of camera motion and dynamic death cam. Okay, so people were getting sick from that. I didn't personally experience that, but I guess that's a good change for people that were getting sick. Those are the changes. And if you want to see like what they're working on and all that, there's the Trello board. I'll put that in the description as well. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Enjoy beta weekend 2. I'll see you out there. Peace.